Hi, I'm Bill Corcoran Jr. This is the On the Stacks podcast.
Oh yeah, whoa, look, they can never keep me down, I'm going, and if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.
But Nathan's really is the Super Bowl, to be able to qualify and go there, because, you know, they're only taking 20 people, you know, out of national qualifiers, to be one of those people to, you know, go on stage, get up there, and there's 50,000 people in the crowd. You're on ESPN live worldwide. I guess that might be the you know, the number one Super Bowl, you know, bucket list, and be able to do it 5 years in a row. I'm living my best life.
Today, I'm chatting with professional competition eater, George, the Smorgasbord, Chiger. This episode is brought to you by the Pest Rangers. Finding insects in your home can be a real pest. I know I felt that way when I discovered termites living rent-free in my house. But thanks to the team at the Pest Rangers, I'm no longer bugging out over this issue. So if any creepy crawlers are cramping your style, there's no ifs, ands, or bugs about it. You gotta call the Pest Rangers. For more information on how to rid your home from unwanted pests, call the Pest Rangers today at 570-826-1114 or visit them online at thepestrangers.com. This episode is brought to you by Kavanaugh's Grill, one of my favorite places to eat and drink in any PA. They've got one of the best outdoor patios with 13 TVs and over 20 beers on tap. You can also dine inside at this cozy Irish-style pub where your beer never goes empty. Did I mention how delicious their food is? Their in-house smoked brisket, barbecue ribs, and wings are to die for. So grab your friends and have a drink on me at Kavanaugh's. Mention code STACKS for one free draft beer with purchase of any entree when you dine in. Located at 163 North Main Street in Mountaintop, Kavanaugh's is open at 4 p.m. during the week and 12 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday during football season. Dine in today at Mountaintop's only Irish-style pub. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn Board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn Board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On the Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. What's up, podcast? It's Bill Corcoran Jr., host of the On the Stacks podcast here in the Blue Door studio, protected by our friends at Ricci Security Solutions. Today, I have a true mountain of a man on the show. One of the tallest guests to date, standing at a towering 6 feet, 6.6 inches, and weighing in at 340 pounds. He's ranked 17th in the world, and there was no challenge or menu item that he would turn down. He drinks pints like shots and pitchers like pints. He won the Easy Cheese Chugging Championship of the world after he downed 2 8-ounce cans of cheese in just 59 seconds. He's eaten a little bit of everything. They don't call him the Smorgasbord for nothing. Death once had a near George Chiger experience, and George ate that up too for breakfast. He's also known as the Red Horse of Death. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you George Chiger.
You've been trigger warned.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was a long intro, but we got through it. And,
yeah, we did. And epic, man.
Worthy.
Thank you. Yes.
Worthy. I mean, I feel like there's no way I could have started this episode without having an intro like that. Like 2 intros, a pre-recorded intro, and then this live intro. We had to do it because, wow.
Well, thank you. I'm honored for you to go live and you know, go out of your comfort zone for that, and you killed it, man.
Yeah, thanks. I had to adjust. I was telling you before, had to adjust the cameras and we got everything set at like max height to fit you in the frame.
Fit me in, yeah.
Yeah, but you're here. You ate 15 pizzas before we started, and
personal best, you know?
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming in, man. You've been on, you're on this tour, from what I understand, around the country, this eating tour.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's really kind of just popped up out of nowhere. You know, it's pumpkin pie season. So I needed to go out to Ohio to eat some pumpkin pie this weekend. But I have a fella YouTuber competitor, Steel Rod Ramin, in from the Czech Republic. And he just signed with Major League Eating. And we did a competition like 2 weeks ago, eating pork roll in Jersey. I met him, really cool guy. And then like I get an email like, hey, are you going to pumpkin pie? I heard, you drive, you drive me out there. I'm in like New York. Yeah, let's go. So we drove out to Ohio for this weekend, and we went through by the way of North Carolina and Michigan. So I think today I'm over at 2,400 miles in 6 days.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we're not done yet. I got a bunch more stuff coming up, but we could get to that.
A lot of more food to eat.
Oh yeah, a lot more food to eat. A lot of great challenges. So
yeah, and I almost forgot. I mean, how could I forget to introduce Lupita? Tell everybody, show and tell everybody who Lupita is, because I don't know if Lupita could probably be seen on the wide angle, right? But
yeah, maybe.
There we go, Lupita. This is Lupita.
This is Lupita, my pocket dog. I get to sometimes compete with her, but she does food challenges with me, hangs out. Take her snowboarding. She's my ride and die. She's in the car across the country. We've been in Florida a bunch of times, Texas, and
love it.
Yeah, she just does her thing.
She's like the best dog ever. Like she just is just chilling.
Oh yeah, living her best life.
Yeah, the whole time she's been here. It's like I actually forgot she was here for the last probably 45 minutes before we started. I forgot she was here.
Definitely, she's really well behaved.
Yeah.
Does her thing. You'll find her in my videos, and of course, you can follow her on her Instagram, Lupita Dog 2017.
Eating some of the crumbs.
Very rare. She's very well trained.
Is she?
When it comes to eating, the extra stuff. I could, if her head was laying on the desk right now and she's in her sling, I could put a steak in front of her. She won't touch it.
Wow.
But if she's out of the sling, I put it down. She probably grab it.
So does she? So she goes on stage with you at events and things?
Yeah. I've the first one was West Palm Beach. We were down there eating corn on the cob in 2021, and we had her out on the stage with us. And when I finished and went back out to get my trophy, I grabbed, went out to accept my trophy. I took her out and picked them both up and the crowd went crazy. So
of course, who doesn't love dogs?
Everyone loves dogs. And then she was on stage with Strawberry Shortcake this year.
Awesome.
Out in Long Island. So, but you'll see her in most of my food challenge videos or practices.
Very cool.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
On the Stacks will be back in a flash after a word from our sponsor.
After someone has been in a car crash, and when we're in the initial client meeting, I like to take a lot of time and go over each and every aspect they can expect to come their way over the next 6 months or 8 months or a year. And one of the things everybody is worried about, especially in today's day with health insurance, is who's going to pay the medical bills. And everybody wants to say that the person who hit them should absolutely pay for it. I don't disagree, except that the law in Pennsylvania says that the vehicle that you're driving in, the insurance on that vehicle will be paying for the first amount of your medical bills to whatever extent you pay for the coverage. And when that's exhausted, then it's going to kick over to your private health insurance.
And now we're back on the Stacks.
So, one thing that we have in common, about both of our, we'll call this your business, because this is your business, right?
Yeah.
This is what you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm a professional leader.
Yeah. So your name on your hat, it has a hashtag, the Smorgasbord. Mm-hmm. I pronounce it differently every time. We already had this conversation, right? but you have a hashtag in front of your name, mm-hmm. just like I do.
Yes.
Right? And I just I don't know what it is. I find it fascinating that we're both we both have what I want to know before I tell you what my theory was, and it's probably the same.
Okay.
But what was your theory of putting the hashtag in front of that?
The whole thing was just so you go to it, right? It's just visual aid. If, I'm in a picture, someone sees it, hashtag, Smorgasbord. I don't, I'm 43 years old. Social media is not my gig. If I knew what I was doing, I would have been doing this 20 years ago, and I'm learning it all. So I think when I started, I wasn't quite sure, but I'm like, yeah, let everyone, I'll start hashtagging everything and anything I post. And, so I put it out there, and some people have said, "Oh, that's not the way it works," but then I don't care. It seems to be working for me. I got hashtag the Smorgasbord and hashtag the Smorgasbord list. Because everyone's like, "Oh, you got to write down all the restaurants where you go and do your reviews and talk about it." And
okay, so that's what the list.
Yeah,
that's what the list hashtag is.
So I'm like, oh, just go to the Smorgasbord list, and I'll take you to everything that I want to go do or support, or where I found something tasty, in my travels.
Very cool. Yeah. So it was exactly. I didn't know the answer to the question, by the way, for everybody listening and watching. I didn't know the answer as to why, but it's basically the same theory.
Sure.
As my show on the Stacks.
Mm-hmm.
When I started it, when I kind of came up with the name, I just same thing on social media. I just threw the hashtag in front of it with the theory of like, hey, anything I ever post with that hashtag, people can just find all the content like on any platform. And it was literally like the same theory, but it's just funny because we both have the hashtag in front of our business name.
I like
so
it.
I figured I had to ask that right away.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, man. So competition eating. This is like, you're literally ranked like in the top 20 in the world. Like this is a very serious thing.
Yeah. No, I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of training into this over the last 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all right. So what goes into this? How do you? I know you mentioned the word practice once or twice already.
Right.
So like, how do you prepare for this? How do you prepare for this? Like,
it's all about, working on techniques and stretching your, capacity. And when I first got into it, it was originally just to, I met my mentor, and that's a story in itself. But, I became her sparring partner. That was the goal. She just needed a sparring partner, how to better herself and push herself during hot dog season, because hot dog season runs from February or April to July, right? And it's like every week, we get together, we pick a number of hot dogs we're going to try to consume in 10 minutes. And we, set the timers up in our cups and our water and, got the, some people watching to cheer us on. And the big thing is to, try to just reenact, standing at the table. So it helps if someone's there to push you.
So this is like you're like, it's like you're staging like an actual competition. Right? Like
yes.
That's what you're doing. You're basically pretending like you guys are really doing it.
Yeah, we're
for real.
sparring. Yeah.
And when you say sparring, I think when I think sparring, because I was a martial artist, still I don't practice as like I used to. But when I hear sparring, a lot of other people might think the same thing, that like you're fighting, you're physically like. But you guys
are competing physically against each other. You know. And I'm just there to.
So that's what you guys
I'm
call
the punching bag.
Yeah. So you guys call it sparring.
I would say it's sparring. Yeah. Because I was just there to help her. Because my first time out, I think I ate like 16 or 17 hot dogs in 10 minutes. And Laurel's like, you really need to, do this. And I'm like, the guys are eating 40, 50 hot dogs back then. I'm like, you're crazy, lady. Like, I'm not, I'm not going to try, but I'm here to push you. So if you're going to eat 14 hot dogs, I'll eat 15. And she's like, well, what happens if I eat 15? I said, I'll just eat 16. And she's like, oh, I hate you because you could do that. And years later, it took her about 5 years, but she talked me into, pushing myself and trying to qualify. So I started increasing my capacity, pushing myself past the 16 hot dogs, in 10 minutes. And so now I'm up to, 40 plus in practice in 10 minutes.
It's a lot of hot dogs.
And buns.
And buns. That's
and buns.
Right. Yeah, you can't forget about the buns.
And liquid, too. I consume probably about a gallon and a half of liquid during competition.
Wow. Some people don't even drink half a gallon a day, just regular water.
No. Yeah. And you should be drinking half a gallon at least.
Yeah, at least. So I think they say like, what is it? Like half your body weight in ounces is like the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's what I go by.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's a lot of ounces for you.
It is.
I'm not calling you fat, but you're just a big dude.
I'm not a small man.
A mountain of a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's a lot of ounces.
Yeah. What we're at 170 ounces a day minimum. Definitely.
Yeah. Wow. All right, so you rode in here, almost lost 2 wheels. By the way, you came in, you're driving in, you drove like thousands of miles the last week, and I'm just glad your wheels didn't fall off on the way in.
I'm glad I know my car, right? Like, oh, something's not right. Let's pull over, and it's like, oh yeah, something's not right. So
yeah,
very lucky. Whew. It's my own doing. I put snow tires on the car, the other day. New. With the rims and stuff. So I knew that I was supposed to, retorque everything at 1,000, but I left the tools at home and, it happens.
Yeah.
So
you're on the road.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. Got to keep eating, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's all about eating.
Yeah. So, all right. So, what did you do before this?
Before competitive
Yeah.
eating? I've always ate, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
I've always, you know, I was in the food business when I was a kid. You know, worked at this restaurant across the street from my house, and you know, when I got out of that, I got into line work and worked on some high voltage power lines, you know, across the country. And then, you know, there was some life, you know, altering events. You know, my father passed away and my mom was ill, and I changed my life to, you know, work at home and do things around the house and close to, you know, in the area to take care of my mom. And then she passed. And, you know, this opportunity to go, you know, do this crazy food eating stuff, just it changed my life. It came out of nowhere. Like I said, I was, you know, a sparring partner for my mentor, and then, you know, everything changed, and it's like, hey, you know, you go hit this, you know, try to qualify to go to Nathan's, because it's, you know, that's, you know, who hasn't watched Nathan's on 4th of July? I think that's like America's, you know, pastime on 4th of July. I've always done it, and now I compete in it. So it's just, it's life changing. But, you know, property maintenance. And then I was working at a ski resort before COVID, and, you know, that all changed. So COVID really kind of opened a lot of doors. You know, the eating business really slowed down, but in the same token, it really has allowed me to expand into partnerships with, you know, restaurants, bars, products that I use on a daily basis. So, and, you know, it gets me across the country now to compete in, you know, MLE events and taking on and food challenges for my YouTube channel.
Very cool. So you travel all over. I mean, we're on this trip that you're making this stop in northeastern PA. You know, you're on the
Which
show.
is home.
Yeah, which is home.
Yeah.
You're from the Poconos,
Yeah.
right? You live out in the Poconos.
Yeah, I live in the Poconos.
But you know, this is today when you're here right now, this is just one stop on your journey, right? You
Yes.
still got other things going on. How many
Yes.
places have you been, and where else are you going?
So since Wednesday, I think we've been in like 13 states. Drove down to North Carolina and take on a 15-pound burger challenge. Then we drove up to Minnesota to eat 7 pounds of giant box of French fries. And then we went a little more north in Michigan to take on a 7-pound pizza. And then we're back in Ohio on Saturday to do a 25-cup bowl of cereal with 1 gallon of milk. And I'm going to say I had the record for like 30 minutes, which I'm pretty happy about.
Nice.
And then we competed, you know, pumpkin pie out in Jeffersonville, Ohio, and against, you know, the top eaters in the world. And I was able to, you know, pull in 6th place with 8 3/4 pounds of pumpkin pie in 8 minutes. So I'm happy about that. You know, finished in the money, you know, that's all that matters if I finish in the money. You know, I don't do the competitions for the money. It's more just hang out with everybody. So I was able to, you know, collaborate with Badlands Booker, you know, Chugs, and Rodim, you know, the steel rod. So it's just great. And of course, you know, you see the whole eater, you know, family. But like, then we left Ohio last night to be here today to film. And it looks like I might be in Rhode Island tomorrow to take on a hot dog challenge maybe. But I'll be back in the Lehigh Valley on Wednesday to take on a 3-foot, 8-pound Italian hoagie challenge. And then I got some, you know, parade duty to do down in the Lehigh Valley with County Corner Neighborhood Pub and Pie. You know, one of my sponsors. You know, it's great to hang out with those guys. So, of course, every year I'm on the Halloween parade throwing candy for the kids and just, you know, living my best life. And then... man, I mean, we're going to try to figure out some more stuff because, you know, with Rod being in from the Czech Republic, we're really trying to get footage for him every day. But I have another 10-pound challenge lined up in Middletown, New Jersey on, you know, this Sunday, and then another parade on the 19th. And then I'm in Vegas for Halloween for another competitor's wedding, eater's wedding. But in the same token, with a lot of competitor eaters in town, we're all going to, you know, collaborate and do some food challenges and stuff in Vegas. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
And then that might be done. Well, and I got North Carolina in the first week of November, take on a food truck challenge.
You're all over the place, man.
Yeah. You know, driving in circles. And it just like, I went somewhere, but I'm back where I started.
Literally till the wheels fall off.
Oh, literally. Yes.
But glad you're safe.
Yes,
they didn't
I am
actually
too.
fall off.
No, but
close.
If I said, oh, let me hit the next rest area, I would have never made it.
You wouldn't have made it. You
made
wouldn't have
it.
been here.
No, I would not have. No.
It was on the way here.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, driving here. Yeah.
Gosh.
Because if not, I think I would still be out west somewhere, you know, but we're here. We're back in the Northeast to be here today. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, all right. So when you first got into like, all right, you're actually going to do this competition eating thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that it would turn into a business like it did? Like what were your initial thoughts?
After 5 years of training with my mentor during hot dog season, I'm like, all right, this sounds kind of cool. Let me give it a shot. But, walking off stage at the first event, it was just life-changing. Coming in second place with like 17 hot dogs and buns. I think in practice I was eating like 22, maybe 23 hot dogs and buns. And, Eric Booker walks right up to me and goes, you're the future of competitive eating. You need to hang out with us. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is fun. We'll just do this for, during hot dog season. I'll train with Laurel and we'll push through and, it's just a hobby. And when I started really pushing after, 2016, 2017, then I'm like, I started watching film on other eaters, reading articles like, hey, how are they building their capacity? How are they doing this? How are they changing? The sport's changing because it used to be, the 6'6" tall guys that are 6 foot, 6 feet wide. And, the buffet busters, it's the guys that get thrown out of the buffets. And trust me, I've been one of them since I've been a kid because, I just eat until they stop bringing food out. But, to get into it, I debuted at like 18th in the world, went right to 12th in the world. I qualified first in the world, in the country to go to Nathan's on the 2018, 2019. And then I've been, invited back the last 3 years because I'm, the Red Horse of Death. I'm, somebody with Major League Eating, and I have the opportunity to do quite a bit of events with them. And, we have a great partnership. I'm glad to be part of them to be able to compete. So, but it's changed my life, going into it, 2018, 2019, like getting back to your original question, I'm trying to get there, but I just never thought it, I've been doing it paying out of pocket for years. And then it's like COVID happened, lockdown, and I had, more time to talk to people individually, and people were hearing my story. I was going on podcasts, just meeting people out and about in the world, and just slowly I'm, gathering sponsors. And it's like, because I don't like asking anybody for anything, but people are offering, hey, can we help you out a little bit? Let's talk. It's like, okay, this is pretty cool what you do. There's a lot of cross platforms, I don't say no to any podcasts. I don't say any no, I say I'm a media whore because, hey, let's do this. Lupita's got me hour AM, FM radio shows. And I'm like, I don't know why the vet wants to talk to me for an hour. Oh no, we want to interview you about the dog. And I'm like, my dog? Like, I'm okay,
Yeah.
But really the vet wanted to interview a competitive eater. So it was a great show, but it's changed my life, and to make it feasible, it's like, okay, I can ask for some help. I'm not scared to ask for help. And the fans are great, so, everybody helps a little bit, and it just works out. So to be able to take it and keep moving forward, building my brand, # the Smorgasbord, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
It's changed my life.
That's awesome. So how do you, I know we talked about how you prepare like physically, right? You practice and all that, but
Yeah.
How about mentally? How do you get mentally prepared for this stuff?
Ooh, mentally, you got to work on yourself. You got to be good to yourself. You got to be able to, yell at yourself. And, I beat myself up quite a bit, but it is more mental. I mean, it's a lot of physical, but it's really is mental, because your body physically stops working at certain points, and it's telling you like, no, you don't want to keep chugging this liquid or eating this amount of food. There's something wrong. Stop. And you have to fight it. So you got to tell your body, no, we're going to keep eating. We're going to keep pushing ourselves. We're going to, push ourselves to the point that we can't breathe. We can't, do anything fun. There's no, it's a physical reaction. It changes everything. You're pushing yourself. Meat sweats are real. You imagine eating 15 pounds of food in your stomach in less than 10 minutes, so now you have a, newborn baby in your gut in minutes, gallons of liquid. You're talking, 18, 20 pounds of liquid in minutes. It really changes a lot of diameter and, structure of the body. So it's you got to fight past the pain physically. And everyone's like, well, you're just eating food. But I think the best way, just imagine running a 100-yard dash for 10 minutes. Because like in competition, like there's go and then you got 10 minutes, sometimes 6 minutes, sometimes 12 minutes. And it's just, you got to eat as much as you possibly can physically without reversing to beat the next guy.
What happens after?
You let it settle, hang out a little bit. Sometimes if you're lucky, if, you're at Oktoberfest, you fill up the Dawes boots and chug them.
Yeah, you brought a boot with you.
Yeah, I travel with the boots all over the country. So that's, Badlands Booker, Eric Booker and myself, we, Oktoberfest, Cincinnati Oktoberfest is the largest one in the country. Last year was the largest one in the world. So we go out there, eat bratwurst every year. This year I was out there, I ate 42 brats in 10 minutes. Booker ate like 32. And then we probably had like 6 pints of beer. And then I'm like, oh man, we got to fill up the boots. And we got the boots and filled them up and drank that. So it's another 6 beers in a boot. So it was a nice afternoon, feeling pretty good, hanging out at Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Full, belly full of brats and beer.
Yeah.
Like that's, I guess the German dream. I don't know, but I know I was living the American dream.
Yeah. So, all right. So after you eat all this food at these competitions, like, don't you want to just like lay down?
Back in 2010, I would eat, 15, 16 hot dogs, go home, sit on the couch for 2 days in sodium coma. I was 100 plus pounds heavier. And today, the best thing about 4th of July is the sunrise on the 5th. I could eat 40 hot dogs and buns and drink gallons of beer. And it's like, I'm so conditioned, it just burns off. Like during hot dog season, my metabolism's going so fast. I lose weight during hot dog season and nothing really bothers me, because my body's trained to metabolize and take care of everything. And the doctors are like, hey, your numbers are good. Just keep doing what you're doing.
That was kind of my next question. I was like, all right, so how healthy can this guy really be, right?
So, yeah, I mean...
you probably get that question a lot. Like, yo, man, like you eat all this food. Like, how are you all right,
Well, I mean, I just eat healthier. I eat better for myself. I eat more often. Back in 2010, I would eat a dozen eggs and pound of bacon for breakfast and then maybe... a huge dinner, but today I would, 2 eggs in the morning with 2 pieces of bacon. A couple hours later, I eat something else. But I'm really, on the fiber greens to keep the system running flow, smooth, good gut health. That really, since you're, getting rid of everything out of your gut, it pulls a lot of cholesterol out, so the cholesterol goes down. But, since losing over 100 pounds, my cholesterol is on point, good and bad. The numbers are happy. Everyone's happy about everything pretty much.
Yeah, so you're healthier now than you were before you did this.
Yes. Yeah, because it just happened when I met my mentor. It was like life-changing. I'm trying to, I'm 30 years old. I need to get life insurance. I got to think about the future and all that. And everyone's like, no, you're not getting life insurance. We're worried about the future. And I've changed it, So I knew I had to be in a good place to go forward in life. But, and I was able to take care of that, lose the weight, and then I got into competitive eating simultaneously. And it's just, I'm the lightest I've been in 30 plus years today, and I'm happy about it. I'm still losing weight.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoever would have thought? Everyone's probably gonna be shocked to even hear that.
Yeah. Most people are.
Yeah. I mean, even myself, a little shocked.
Yeah. I'm down 40 pounds from Christmas because of the just not drinking alcohol every day. I had a bum tooth and really been off the alcohol most of the year. So usually I just quit during hot dog season. I'll lose like 15 pounds, but I'm down pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're not originally from northeastern Pennsylvania, right?
No.
You're from the whole other side of the country.
I am. But my family's from, just down the street.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your background, where your family's from.
So, Sugar Notch, Ashley, Hanover, Uncle Steve used to be, the football coach. Cousin Steve, was gym teacher out in Hanover High out that way. So I got family all through the valley, the Trotsky's kiboshi shop in Nanticoke. And, but, my family's, my grandfather was from the valley, moved out to New York, and, my mom and dad met out on Long Island, and they moved to California in the 70s, had me, and then they retired to the Poconos in the 90s, and I was just a kid, so I came back with them, and I've always stuck out in Northeast PA. It's just the country. I've been all over the country now, and it's beautiful, and I love it. But there's just something about Northeast PA, being here for the last 30 years, it's home. I'll call it, Poconos is home.
Yeah. So, all right. So you got all these sponsors now, some of them are, you have some of their logos here on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You brought some of the stuff with you today from a lot of the stuff that you travel with. So, I mean, you have a lot of sponsors, and this, I just think it's really fascinating what you've built. You built yourself this business.
Yes.
Just from literally like just going around doing what you want to do, kind of on your own time, and you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah, it's all about networking. If I have opportunity to go somewhere to an event, or hey, a bunch of guys are getting together, drink some whiskey and smoke cigars tonight. Do you want to come hang out? Yeah,
that's how we originally met.
Yes,
by the way.
Yes,
which we really didn't talk much with because we were kind of further apart from each other, and we weren't in each other's company that long. But that's actually how we originally met.
Definitely, yeah.
Briefly.
Very briefly. You're a very busy man, with everything you do.
Yeah.
And also a new father, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So but yeah, we met briefly because of the cigar, because of the cigar business.
Yeah,
right?
and Jason.
Yeah,
Protocol Cigars.
Protocol.
Yeah.
And so Pops McCann, which also another sponsor of mine now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my whiskey before I left town for the road trip to have here today with us. But and then you print the Protocol Cigars labels.
Yeah, I know the Protocol guys very well.
And they've been on the show.
Yeah, and it all actually dates back. Excuse me, all ties back to Max Peters, who I know I think you recently met him.
Yeah,
right?
He was on another podcast that I was on with him, hanging out, and Johnny Smokes Uncut, which is also a sponsor of mine. And I was able to meet Max through them because of being, in the cigar world. And it's amazing because, eating and cigars go together, food and cigars, and, whiskeys and
booze,
cigars and booze. And then I do everything to the extreme, but, I hang out with, comedians because of the cigars and, the eating. And it's really crazy how everything just pollinates each other, and we all work together and support each other. And it's fun. It's really changed my life.
Yeah. Have you gone anywhere besides just in the U.S.? Like, have you traveled anywhere outside the country for anything?
Been to Canada a couple times for poutine. I think my rookie year, 2018, I went up there. I ate like 11.5 pounds of poutine in 10 minutes. And then I think my personal best might be 12.5 now. It's a fun time up there in Dundas Square in Toronto, and Smokes Poutineery puts on, huge concert. They got like a fake Kiss band, and it's really a good time. And then we're there to eat poutine. What's better than that?
Yeah. So, where would you say was the coolest or most fun place you've been? Because you've been to a lot of places.
Oh man, the most. I mean, this is a tough question. Everyone's always like, what's the favorite city or whatever.
Yeah, it's like your favorite child.
They all are though, man.
Right.
But they're all different. Right. Everything that I've done, everywhere I've gone, is one of the most unique experiences that you can have. One of the, the best food the sponsors could put out. And every city's, just the people are unique. The architecture is unique. And of course the event, you're there, right? So, I've been to the, Circuit America F1 race opening for Pink. Pink's was on my bucket list for, lifetime to go see her anyway. I mean, she's an epic artist, but to be able to open for her and then get like VIP pit passes to hang out and watch the show. Yeah. Check that one off the bucket list. I'll drive to Texas for that. But Nathan's really is the Super Bowl to be able to qualify and go there because, they're only taking 20 people, out of national qualifiers. To be one of those people to, go on stage, get up there and there's 50,000 people in the crowd. You're on ESPN live worldwide. I guess that might be the number one Super Bowl, bucket list, and be able to do it 5 years in a row. I'm living my best life.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you qualify for that? So it's, how does that happen? Take me through the process.
Major League Eating has a website. They post their events. They post when qualifying or registration opens. It's only open for a short period of time. First come, first serve. But if you're signed with Major League Eating, they'll pick ranked eaters over non-ranked eaters, and it will go by your ranking, in the world. So like if there's 15 spots open or 16 spots and all top 16 eaters are at the table, I'm not going to go to the table today. right? But it's very rare for us to have, 10, we're getting fuller now. Like there's a lot more people traveling these days, but I'm usually guaranteed a spot at a table if I want to go to a contest anywhere in the country for Major League eating. So
It's a pretty cool feeling.
yeah, it's exciting, and trust me, I try to get to everyone that I can. You qualify, they'll, like I said, they get X amount of people in there. They'll fill up the spots. And with Nathan's, there's like 18 to 20 national qualifiers, and you have to travel. You're only allowed to go to 3, but you have to win first place to move on to the finals. But since COVID really has messed up everything in everyone's life, it was invite only on the 2020. We got an email like 3 weeks out. Sorry, this isn't, your year. We're only taking the top 5 people, blah, blah, blah. Next year we'll have you back at the table. Thank you. It's like, okay, no problem. So 72 hours out, I get a phone call. Hey, Chiger, what's up? I'm like, not much. What's going on? Hey, what are you doing Saturday? I'm like, sounds like I'm eating hot dogs, and he's like, well, that's why I'd be calling, if you could, do you want to come to the city and eat hot dogs on the 4th of July? I'm like, yes. Now, meanwhile, 8-9 weeks lockdown. I'm not training, only thing I'm doing is drinking beer by the gallons every day. So I'm like, but I'm still going. I'm not saying no. So I got a phone call to go in 2020, 2021. They said, oh, we're doing something, but it's invite only. I made the cut for the invite there. And then last year I made, this past year, 2022, they had 2 qualifiers. They took the top 3 men and top 3 women from each qualifier and invited them to come. But they took, I guess, the top 10 men that were able to come and, trickling some people out. I made the cut. And so I didn't have to qualify this year. I was invited back and, very excited for that,
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah. So still don't know what's coming up for next year. Maybe we'll get back to normal to the 18 qualifiers nationwide. And then we'll have to, there's strategy on where you have to go, who's eating where. I'm pretty lucky, we do have a qualifier in PA, at least we used to. So, everyone's going to kind of, oh, that's Chiger's spot, unless they feel they could beat me and they can show up. But you really have to strategize. That's what I was looking for. Strategize to where you're going to go and compete.
Okay. So there's a whole strategy behind this whole eating thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more than just showing up and like eating some hot dogs.
Correct.
Right?
Well, yeah, because you gotta show up and be able to win, right? So, as we practice and learn, you learn your capacity, you learn the poundage you can handle in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, an hour. You really push yourself over long periods of time, but to be able to push yourself in a short period of time, you practice things. So I know I could drink, a 6-pack of beer in, 1 minute because I've done it. I know I could do it. Can I push myself faster? I could eat a large pizza pie in 2.5 minutes, 16-inch pizza pie because I've done it. You've seen it.
you that first piece of pizza, I don't even know if I had one bite down. And I looked over at you and I just saw your hand going really fast and it was just gone.
Yeah, it was 3 bites.
I didn't even see it happen. It actually happened that quick. I took one bite of my piece of pizza. I look over and I'm like, did you already ate one?
Yeah, that's what yeah.
I did, right?
Yeah, you asked me, yeah.
That's literally what happened. I'm like, it's gone.
I heard the camera go and it was like gone.
I wonder if Darren even got it.
Maybe.
I don't even know if the flash was fast enough.
So, but you learn what you can do and what you can't do, by pushing yourself and not pushing yourself. I know I could drink one of these containers, 64 ounces in less than 30 seconds because I've practiced and I've done it, Can I drink 10 of them? I don't know. If I push myself to that point, but before I go do a challenge to drink 10 of them, I'm sure the hell going to practice. I'm going to push myself to make sure I could do that. And, I've drinking 6 liters of Mountain Dew in a very short time.
Oh boy.
For a friend to, bring awareness to him and help him, raise some money for him. And it was an honor to do it, but man, that, 6 liters of Mountain Dew all fizzed up. It's a lot of capacity,
a lot of carbonation.
A lot of carbonation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really pushes the body, but I knew I could do it ish before I did it, going into it. You got to prepare yourself mentally to go do something and physically to go do something. If it's 3 pounds of food or 15 pounds of food.
Wow.
Yeah.
There really is a whole strategy and a mindset and.
Yeah. I'm getting into yoga. I really need to find my happy place and just my Zen and calm down and work on my breathing and, you know, my stretching. And that's the biggest thing. I train the jaw. I got a jaw exerciser I chew on, you know, every day. I used to do packs and packs of gum, but I got this little chew ball. I chew on it when I'm driving across the country. I do hundreds of reps at a time.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Let me go back to the yoga. So, so you're doing yoga now to kind of help with what breathing for competition, actually for eating.
Yeah, for eating,
right?
to calm down and get, you know, focused and definitely, you know, work on the breathing. Because if you look at most of my videos, unfortunately, it's dangerous what we do, right? I mean, it is dangerous, choking hazard. Don't try it at home. I'm a professional, right? When I speed eat, I have a paramedic on standby. It's in my contract. It's, you know, we can't do it if not, you know, with them not being there, because it is dangerous. But, you know, training ourselves and pushing ourselves, I lost it again. Just like,
so yoga and breathing techniques.
Yes, yoga. So, you know, referencing to choking with the yoga is because, you know, I feel that I choke almost every day when I eat, right? Then
And so do I. So why? It's a weird thing. Why does that happen?
We have more in common?
Yeah, we do.
Man.
I choke like every day.
Yeah.
I almost die almost every day just eating regular food.
I think, you know, you're just giving me a hard time. But no, when in competition or, you know, for example, on Saturday, right, I'm eating a bowl of cereal, 25 cups. I got Cheerios. I got shredded wheat in there. I got milk. And I coughed and I had Cheerios come out my nose. And I think I had one stuck in there most of the whole time I was eating. But choking in competition and everything, you just have to take your time and calm down, and you have to realize what's going on. Like, all right, are we going to try to wash it down, or are we going to try to cough it, you know, get it, you know, try to get it out of your throat or where it's jammed? Because sometimes, you know, I have stuff in my nose I got to get out of. I've had hot dogs in my nose, you know, French fries, Cheerios the other day. So, you know, you have to be able to mentally say, take time. You got 30, 40 seconds before, you know, you really get in a lot of problems, right? So you need to be able to calm down, control the situation, and clear it. If that's, you know, washing it down with liquid, pass something, or coughing it up, you know, and I'll never do a food challenge or anything unless I have liquid on the table. Because everything's a choking hazard in mass quantity. You know, you can eat this chocolate cake the fastest, you know, you'll win the $5,000, but you can't drink any liquid. Don't do it, because people have died doing that, because you can't wash it down if you're choking. If you pack your throat full of food and it's stuck there, you can't do nothing. You can't rinse it down. You can't get it to move. So, you know, definitely need liquid.
Always liquid.
Always have
liquid.
liquid.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Definitely don't try it at home.
Yeah.
You know, but
so the breathing, that whole thing,
so
there's
the breathing,
a whole technique
yeah,
to this.
Because you got to be able to breathe and relax, and then, you know, you got to stretch and get everything, you know, copacetic. Because mentally to train, it's not fun, right? Like, it's not fun to push your stomach to the limits of feeling like it's Thanksgiving dinner every day.
Yeah,
right?
times 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're pushing yourself, you got to get in your happy place. You got to be able to breathe. You got to, you know, be able to say, okay, we're going to push the limits of the body. And for years, you know, I've always had the spare tire on the side of my ribs here, you know, right? Because your stomach's right at your bottom of your lungs, rib cage, and then you push out the side. But now I'm finding my lower stomach. So now I'm pushing my stomach down past my belly button, and I can feel it going through, you know, my lower bowels and everything. And it's pushing things out of the way that shouldn't be pushed out of the way. But mentally and physically, you got to breathe and like calm down. And then, like, you know, sometimes it's shallow breathing, and I have asthma, and I have, you know, just other health issues that I've grown up with, you know, but to be able to control your breathing as you're putting pressure, your stomach's expanding, pushing on your lungs, you know, it's really, you know, you really have to work past certain things when it comes to that.
So you said there's like a paramedic like on standby?
Yeah.
Like all the time for
all the
these?
time when we, speed eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, like what if you get to the point like that you can't wash it down? Like, or you can't cough it, you can't wash it down. Like, do you have like do you have like a signal, like a safe word?
Well,
because if you're choking, you can't really say I'm choking.
Right. So, I mean, the universal choking signal, you know, across all platforms is, you know, two hands. So what you have to do is, you know, step away from the table, and go 2 hands, and they'll come right
And
to
they'll
you
know.
immediately.
That's it.
But
How didn't I know that? I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't know that.
so next time you're out to dinner and someone stands up and they're like this, they got problems.
Yeah, I figured so. But
And if they're making noise, they're not choking.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if they're not making noise, they're definitely choking.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah.
Scary.
Definitely. So, we all know, the Heimlich maneuver and, CPR and all that, because if something happens, something happens.
Do you have to like go through training for that stuff?
No, it's not a requirement, but, we're just here to help everyone else. I mean, most people are professionals, outside of this eating world. And, so, we have doctors, we have blue collar guys, we have school teachers, lawyers and, ghost hunters, stuff like that,
Yeah.
So
don't choke and don't try this at home.
exactly. Don't try it at home. It's dangerous.
Yeah. So all right, man. What else? What would you say has been, out of all the competitions that you've eaten, like all the food you've eaten, what's the hardest thing? Like what has been the hardest either challenge or specific food?
Well, I guess for competition wise, one of the harder foods. West Virginia has a pepperoni roll. It's a local gig to them, and it's really hard to chew. So it's not one of my favorites. I've been there once. I want to go back, but it's just like to bring myself to like I really need to go chew on this hard bread. It's really cool as a snack, right? The miners used to take it in the coal mines, so very very cool snack. It makes sense. I would love I love eating them. When I see them in the gas station, I get a 6-pack to go. But in competition, it's not one of my favorite things in the world. It's pretty hard to chew, but taking on food challenges in Bowling Green, Ohio, there's the Southside 6. It's advertised 12-pound gyro challenge, 6 2-pound gyros. And it weighed, he let me weigh one, and it was like 2.5 pounds. So if you do the math, that's like 15 pounds. And the guy's like, if you don't like it, you could leave. And I'm like, I already paid for the challenge. And he's like, well, exactly. And I'm like, well, I need to win this money to get home because it's a couple tanks of gas. He's like, well, I guess you're going to try it then. And I did. And I had an hour and 6 minutes to do it. And I took me every minute, every second of that hour and 6 minutes to eat, 15 plus pounds of gyros.
Just made it.
Oh my God. And then I laid in the cooler for 3.5 hours on the floor before I left because I couldn't do nothing. I was
too much.
Full. I was full. Like cut
to the
off
neck.
full. Definitely. Yeah.
Wow. Holy
So that
smokes.
was one of the hardest challenges I've ever done.
Wow.
But since then, I've done 105-pound burgers with friends. I've sat down and ate 12-pound pizzas by myself, and it's just what it's about. I finally made it to the Shady Maples Smorgasbord in where is it? I want to say Dutch land, but it's not. It's you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Or no?
I don't know.
No,
Give me a reference.
Lansdale.
Lansdale. Okay.
Lansdale.
Okay.
Out there. It's a big smorgasbord. I mean, when I say big, the gift shop in the basement's 41,000 square feet, and they're not paying me people. Like it was my honor to go there on my birthday for a free meal for the first time. I ate for 1 hour, 9 pounds of food for an hour, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I wasn't full. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. My first plate was like 3 pounds of New York strip. So it was just a delicious dinner. If you ever have the opportunity, that is one huge
Nice.
smorgasbord. But yeah, I mean, just to push myself food wise, it's awesome, so, I don't know. I kind of ran there. Sorry.
No, it's all good. So like, I mean, like you eat all day, like, when you're not doing these competitions, like, do you find yourself like not wanting to eat? Like,
no, I find myself starving.
Really?
Right.
Because you stretch your stomach so much. So you're probably constantly hungry.
Constantly hungry. Like hot dog seasons is the worst. I got to eat like every 2 hours. I got to eat 5 to 1,000 calories at a clip. I throw it in the stomach. I chase it with like 32 ounces of liquid, water on top, and to give myself a feel that I kind of ate something. But I got some calories in there, and that kind of appeases me for a few hours, and then I'm hungry again. So I tease myself again with another 500 calories, but it seems to speed up my metabolism, and I lose weight. Burning because you're constantly feeding the fire instead of just like, hey, we're going to throw you 5,000 calories right this second, and then we have to save this because we don't know when we're going to eat again. But if you eat 5,000 calories now and 500 later and 500 later, it's like, oh, we could burn this off because, we keep refilling the gas tank. So your body will use it all. Right. I think that's kind of been like my secret to losing weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So how about your favorite, what are some of your favorite places to eat in Northeastern Pennsylvania?
Oof. That's a good one.
Just for good, like not competition wise, but just, and I guess it probably could be the same answer, but like, what's your favorite, like what's a go-to for you?
I guess, on top, up in here in the Valley, really, if I get the opportunity to head out and get some kibasi, from the cousin's shop, Chernosky's, I definitely always pick up some pierogies and kibasi out there and bring home. But, Scranton, always going up to Scranton, the Keystone, they got a great challenge there, but I like going there just for lunch.
That's where you just came from.
Yeah. I just came from there. We did a nice, their burger challenge. So it's 3 of their burgers, like 4 of their Texas wieners, couple, I think there's chili and cheese, and we have there's some eggs on there.
You sent me a picture. It looked like it was like this big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And then like a pound of fries, which is way more than a pound of fries, and that's loaded with whiz and gravy. And you have like 20 minutes to eat it. So
how'd you do?
I did pretty good. 14 minutes later, I was done. I was ready to come here and film.
Nice.
It was a quick little. It was a food challenge, but for me, it was like, oh, that's lunch, 5 pounds. I'll sit down and eat 5-6 pounds at a clip for lunch. When I'm training or just on a daily basis sometimes.
How about the Poconos? Like, what's your favorite in the Poconos?
Poconos. Zach's Tacos, man. There's a great little taco shack, inexpensive. Love going down there. But Sherry's place too. That's a hot dog trailer, a little food truck. I hit Sherry's place 3-4 times a week. They've been one of my sponsors for 8 years now, but I've been eating there for 25. So, that's a go-to. Little food truck, great cheesesteaks, and, I think the best hot dogs around.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think, you think it's time to surprise the people with a little chug here?
Oh, yeah,
What do
sure.
you think?
Yeah, we can shotgun.
Yeah?
Or we could do a chug. We'll just shotgun. I think that might be
Go
the
ahead.
way to go.
I'm not going to do it. Where this is. I'll probably spill mine all over this $500 microphone.
No, I'm
yeah.
not.
I'm like,
now
I'm
you
like,
told me what it costs. It's like, all right.
yeah, I'm out of the game. Yeah. All right. Good luck. Here we go. I have like a little bit left in my beer, and I guarantee you can probably drink that faster than my last 2 sips. Ready?
All right.
Set.
Cheers.
Go. Cheers. Yeah, I had like 2 sips, and like you still beat me.
Excuse me.
There it is. Perfect.
So yeah, I mean, I drink pints like shots and pitchers like pints. So
It's true.
yeah, I mean,
I wasn't lying.
yeah, these are a half gallon. The boot's a half gallon. 10, 14 seconds, something's gone.
Yeah, and by the way, that beer was a 16 ounce. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's a pounder.
Yeah, it was a pounder. So it's even bigger than a regular beer.
Just by 4 ounces. Which,
Yeah, but still.
But 32 ounces, I could shotgun 32 ounce beers. I do it all the time. I love it. I got some on TikTok. And
What's the secret?
well, stomach capacity. So you're not fighting it. And then just, you got to work on getting it in, right?
Yeah, so how do you deal with like that carbonation and
capacity?
is that all that
Definitely.
is?
I mean, I remember years ago hanging out and someone's like, oh, we, poured a beer, a pitcher of beer, it wasn't supposed to be made lager. It's like, okay. It came out, they're like, sure, you want it? I'm like, yeah, I'll drink it. And then someone's like, oh, I'll give you $20. You drink the whole thing.
Little did they know.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, hey, no problem. And I chugged it and I finished the whole thing, but then you belch and then foam's coming up. I'm belching foam. But since then, my capacity has grown by gallons and I don't belch foam anymore. So
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I ever measured my capacity was like one of these in 10 minutes. And we'll stop saying that I drank 6 of these in 3 minutes at my peak ish. Maybe I stopped counting, but So that's 3 gallons in 3 minutes for people doing the math.
So is this like a secret bar trick sometimes when you show up at places?
Oh, yeah.
You can make a quick, easy, probably $20.
Yeah, I just want a pitcher of beer, right? Buy me a pitcher of beer, I'll show you the trick.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's fair, because people try to, oh, come on, George, do it. We'll raise money, get $100 or whatever. And I'm like, no, but if you buy me a pitcher of beer, I'll show you how quick I can chug one, and
Nice.
I can drink them back to back. So I've done fundraisers for Toys for Tots, golf tournaments, and also Shriners kids, for the Shrine, shotgunning with the foursomes going around. I was invited back from 2021 to 2022. I don't think I'm invited back to 2023.
How come?
We went through 4 30 packs.
You drank too much.
I drank too much.
You drank too much. They lost money, probably, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember much. So that's the problem. I don't remember much. I might have blacked out towards the end of the evening. But we did raise like $1,000 for the kids.
Awesome.
And that's all that matters that we're there for. So.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so what's coming up for George? Like, what are future plans? What do you hope to do? Where do you hope to take it?
Just keep moving forward. My goal is to have a restaurant sponsor or a product sponsor in every state in the country, and if I get outside of the country, even better yet. But if I could, as I'm traveling the country, be able to promote every state, something going on there, I think that's where I want to be.
How many at right now? Do you know offhand? Like how many sponsors? Like, or how many in each state? Like,
well,
how many states? I'm sorry, how many states?
I'm probably like 4 states, 3 states. Depending on logistics, I suppose. Maybe 5 states, but mostly a lot out of Northeast PA. I have a good handful out of the Lehigh Valley. Working with being down there the last few years has really benefited me to grow locally. With sponsors down there, but 50 states. I think would be awesome. So I hit 13 states in the last 5 days, and trust me, I was trying to sell myself like. We won't go there, but I was trying to get myself out there. So
yeah, very cool.
Excuse me.
All right. Well, hopefully we could. Hopefully somebody listening, either listening and watching the show, or somebody that shares the show. Hopefully we can, we can get some of our listeners that might be interested. How can somebody sponsor you? Like, how does it work?
So first thing is to go to chigereats.com. Reach out to me, but like. I've done bachelorette parties, like whatever, like I'll do graduation, birthday parties. But for the sponsorship, it's, we got different plans. You get on the webpage and then you just become, one of these guys. You're kind of, just in the background traveling the country with me, and, you get the shout outs. But then, you could pick a road trip, or you could sponsor a video. Everything's customizable. I work with a lot of small brands and businesses, and I understand we're all trying to make it. So, I'm not asking for a lot of money, but if you're interested, come talk to me, and we'll, sit down and, customize something for you.
Yeah. So you're a big supporter of small business, right?
Yes. So, I get out there, do a lot of reviews, and, if that could be a sponsor too, just get me to come to your shop and we'll talk about it and shout you out across the platforms, and if you're interested in doing a food challenge at your place or an event, talk to me and we'll, come up with something. So it's, everything's customizable.
Awesome. How can our listeners connect with you online? Social media, besides your website, where are you at?
Oh man, I'm across everything. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So, that's the biggest thing, is YouTube, trying to grow that platform. I just broke 2,000 followers recently.
That's awesome.
Thank you. But I've also, Rod that I'm, the Steel Rod, he has 150,000. And then of course I was, collabing with Badlands on Saturday, over 3 million followers on multiple platforms. So, one day I hope to be at their levels, but just get out there. Chigereats.com will take you to all my social media. But you Google me, George Chiger, I come up, it's all good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So do you have to enter again? I kind of forget how it works, but for the 4th of July for next year, do you have to
Qualify
Yes.
again. So
Couldn't think of the word. You have to qualify?
I don't know what's going on for next year. So I'm feeling yes if we get back to a normal schedule of qualifiers.
It'll be a little tighter qualifying.
It's going to be tighter. The field we're really close. The top maybe 8th eater to 28th eater. We're very, very close. Hot dog away from each other.
Wow.
So it really could be tight. Who's going to get back in
Down
next
to one
year.
dog.
Half a dog.
Half a dog.
Sometimes.
That counts?
Yeah. Quarter dogs,
I don't
half
know
dogs.
like the exact rules.
It's equal dog, equal bun, but it goes down to like a quarter, pretty much an eighth if necessary.
Wow.
But like I finished this year 11th place, tied with 28, but 10th place was 5 guys that tied with I guess 7th or whatever, right? So it took a bunch of places out, but they ate 29, and I think 4th place might have been 33 hot dogs. So if I ate 4 hot dogs more, I would have been in the top 5. That's how, I mean, to finish in the top 5, that's how close we are to each other. We're hot dogs away from, half a hot dog, quarter hot dog. It's a lot of competition. But then you got Joey eating, 66 this year after choke slamming a protester.
Yeah, that was awesome, by the way.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That was so cool.
So,
what a legend.
yeah, definitely. I mean, what an American, right?
Seriously.
Went right back to work.
Like at a true American event. I
Yes.
mean, like,
Yeah,
it doesn't get any better than that,
definitely.
right? Well, dude, if you qualify, I want to find out. We can talk another time. How can I sponsor you and I'm gonna get my name on your shirt, your jersey at that thing.
Oh, well,
Is that a thing?
that is not a thing.
Oh shit! I thought it was. I thought
no.
I saw some. I thought I saw names.
There is, but that's through MLE, and that's all their
That's all
stuff.
controlled by them.
That's all controlled by them. So, but the way my sponsorships work, I can promote you up to the stage,
Gotcha.
up to the events with my platforms. I go live on, Facebook live all the time, driving across the country. I do.
I've seen them. You driving in the car.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah. It's like my little podcast,
Yeah,
the
you have your-
Smorgasbord Mobile Studios.
You have your own on the road show.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Just driving across live, talking about my day.
Spilling shit.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's
It's a journey.
Yeah, it's a live take.
Yeah.
I do it on Facebook and YouTube, across my platforms, to get it out there. And I just Q&As, public service announcements. I'll go live and do reviews at restaurants. But the biggest thing is just to talk to the fans, one-on-one, answer some questions, give some real answers, and be real. And this is how I do it. I get in the car and eat my way across the country for an event, and then I'll eat my way home, and I just enjoy life in between.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited you came in, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is a lot of fun. This is really cool. Really cool. You're a unique dude.
Thank you.
And I love that, man. I love that about you. You're different, and you're doing something unique and cool. And like, who can say that they, sat across the table from somebody that competed at Nathan's Hot Dog. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's just really neat, man.
Thank you. Yeah. 20 out of 7 billion people.
Yeah.
1 of 20.
Right. It's a pretty big accomplishment.
Thank you.
So it's an honor to have you here, just as much as you wanted to be on the show. So I appreciate you coming in, George, the Smorgasbord Chiger on the Stacks podcast in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.